Hi, I'm Jared.
And I'm Ebony, and this is his
And hers.
Warhammer 40k.
Yay!
I don't know why I always have to do spirit fingers.
Today we'll be discussing the Siege of Terra, Book 5,
Yeah?
Mortis,
Woo.
which we read a few months ago.
Slow.
Sorry for the delay in getting this up.
Titans.
Titans, yes. Lots of Titans, lots of sort of strange, esoteric, warp stuff going on.
It's good stuff.
It's pretty good. I will say John French is always known for doing a great job with descriptions of the warp and descriptions of sort of people's perceptions of the warp.
Yeah, I would say that's good. I guess we should start with, did you like it?
Honestly, not a whole lot. This one was a little bit of a slog to get through. There were certain storylines that I enjoyed, but the major ones, the Titan battles, the sort of journeys of Oleanus Pius and Sheben Khan, didn't enjoy them that much.
So, I thought maybe I didn't like it, but I think I do like it because, in the prep for this episode, we started talking about the things that we remember from the book, and I love the Sheben Khan story, and I don't know why, because you're right, it is kind of like a random time sink, but I liked it. I don't like the Oleanus Pius storyline, but I don't like it in any of the books, so that's not this book's fault.
I mean, that's interesting because you didn't read Path of Heaven,
No.
which was very focused on Sheben Khan sort of post Scars, and it's the continuation of the White Scar storyline.
I think I just like the sort of I like competency porn, and I liked the Space Marine sort of endurance porn that whole storyline is, right? That he is just making his way back from this far place back to the center of battle because he has to, and it's his duty, and along the way he picks up hurt humans and babies. He just is being the embodiment of a Space Marine, and I think the conclusion where he makes his way back to the loyalists is inspiring.
I guess I don't know. That was rough for me to get through.
I definitely like the Titan battling parts.
Yeah. So with the Titans, we had a couple of different phases involved with that.
Yeah.
We had the Legio Ignatum, which had sort of been kept in reserve this whole time. Mm-hmm. Legio Ignatum being the largest Titan legion based on, at first, Mars, but now relocated to Terra.
Yeah.
They are pretty great.
They were super cool with their rainbow mohawks and live fire tattoos. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so a lot of that are throwbacks to very classic 40k representations back in the early 90s, late 80s.
Okay.
When it was very common to see how you would normally describe the 80s.
Okay.
Punk rock type scene.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
But it was very cool to see a little bit of the politics of that Legio, right? Because I think the sort of introduction to them is someone from the Mechanicum showing up and saying, we definitely can't participate in this war because you'll get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And we're already recovering from a big battle. So
from Beta Garmon.
Right, yeah. So they're you shouldn't go. But all the princeps are this is our job. We're definitely going. This is the thing we're made to do. Their leader is we absolutely are going, and the Mechanicum rep is you're all gonna die.
Yeah, there was definitely
that little bit of tension.
They were brought in to say, right, we're gonna evacuate everyone.
Yeah.
At the same time, you have the remnants of the other legions coming in from Beta Garmon, Legio Solaria, Legio Defensor, a couple of these other little tiny ones that have been really just knocked around.
I like the Solaria storyline too. I like what feels but probably isn't all lady Legio.
No, they're all
is it all women?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I only remember the two characters, the mom who runs it and her daughter who runs the slightly smaller Titan.
They are the main characters of Titan Death, which is which is about the war on Beta Garmon.
Okay.
And they are the main characters there.
They seem super awesome.
Yeah. I think if you wanted, you could go back and read Titan Death. I think you'd enjoy it a lot. We also have their scout forces in the form of House Veroni, which is an Imperial Knight household who's
run by a douche.
Run by a douche, yeah.
Who's like an incompetent douche too, and like his like little armiger, Costia. She's like competent and good at her job, but he won't like listen to her, and they're connected through the feedback of being in their machine. So he punishes her by like sending these bad feelings at her, and like and then like beats up her support staff and makes her feel bad about it. He just is a douche. This dude's a douche.
So my problem with that, with all of the House Veroni storyline, is armigers were sort of a new model that were added, that recently came out on the tabletop, and they're not the only unit that shows up in this book that it felt like this is here just to show off this new unit.
Okay.
You know, and that storyline kind of lacked nuance. It was just like the older sibling being a dick and being classist towards his half sister.
I like the interaction between the two of them. Like, since I don't think about models ever, I didn't know that they weren't a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know an armiger wasn't a thing. Every time I read a Warhammer book, it's like, oh, that's a new thing.
Right.
Like, I didn't notice that they were new.
Which is fine. I have no problem with armigers. Just I didn't expect a whole storyline about them.
My favorite part is that like he is a douche and goes full coward on the battlefield, and like the Solaria Princeps is like, I will shoot your Titan down. Like, she's like, I'll shoot you right out of this battle.
Yeah.
And like Acostia has to save him, and I think that that's super cool.
Yeah.
It just is a good character arc happening within the that set of units that I thought was cool.
Titan death, outside of a couple of other novels, the relationship between Titans and their vassal knight houses, and it gets very complicated because some knight households are independent, some are technically under the control of the Mechanicum and are assigned to Titan legions.
So the politics can be...
There's a whole politics involved there, and Titans are not the same thing as knights. It's actually a form of convergent evolution where they started from two completely different things. They just happen to kind of be similar now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, so like I think that as we talked about this book, I would say your major problem is that this book is called Mortis, and you don't get to hear from anyone in Legio Mortis.
And I believe there was also a Mortis wall, because like they have all of the different wall names.
Yeah.
Well, there was a mention of Mortis wall in this, I think.
I think so, yeah. But like you never get to hear from the Chaos side.
Right, and in earlier books, there were Legio Mortis characters.
Okay.
What happened to them? I thought this would have been a really great opportunity just to have some scene referencing that.
I guess. I don't know any Legio Mortis characters, so...
They were back in Galaxy in Flames, book 3.
Okay.
They were... Legio Mortis was present at Istvan 3.
Ah.
Like, they were the only Titan Legion at Istvan 3.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it would be nice to see where those characters are.
Right.
But, like, I mean, I don't know that I minded so much not hearing from them. I actually feel like for what I thought was a book about a big Titan battle, and there were big Titan battles, that maybe I didn't get enough of that. I think maybe I'm on the reader end. This is a personal character flaw. I'm bad at getting the, like, I don't get the good feels from, like, a like giant Titan battle scene. It just is like, and this thing shot this thing, and that, like, it doesn't feel big. And I think it's because they typically don't have human or space marine characters, and like there are no characters whose minds are on my scale, so it's like, you know, it's kind of like Cthulhu, like, this is so scary, I can't describe it, it's so big, it was big.
Now,
like,
so what's interesting is there is an older book called Titanicus, which I can't remember if you read or not.
Sounds familiar, but it just...
Which also is about like big Titan storylines with other elements going on. It's a post-heresy novel. There's no perspective from the Chaos Titan side, but it never felt like it was missing.
Okay.
And I feel like the characters were... I don't want to say they're not fleshed out in this one, because they are.
Yeah.
Like, especially Legio Ignatum with Sedan and Moana.
Yeah.
Mohana?
That's Solaria, right? Is it Esha
Yeah.
Mohani, and her daughter is like Abani Luz Mohani?
Mohana, yeah.
Mohana, yeah. They stood out in my mind because I thought they were super cool
Yes.
characters, and their Legion was super cool.
Legio Solaria was very cool.
Yeah.
What other storylines do we have that was of interest? Oh, I don't. You probably didn't care about this too much, but the interspersed Emperor scenes.
I love those scenes actually,
Yeah?
because I am reading this whole series because I want to see the Emperor and Horus fight. So like those snippets of like Horus and the Emperor, and occasionally like Malkador will show up to check on the Emperor. Like those, I think are super cool and have been happening in all the books. This one though, the Emperor, it's not looking great. He's like tied to a tree in a desert, and he's real thirsty. And like Malkador shows up once and gives him like a Coca-Cola cap full of water. Like it doesn't look good for the Emperor. It's not looking great.
Yeah. So the feeling I got that what that represents is the four chaos gods pushing down on the Emperor, and because technically, if the Emperor wasn't doing something, chaos demons could start materializing literally everywhere.
Right. We know he's working because they can't materialize easily everywhere. Yeah.
Right. You know, in areas that, as we know later, where the Death Guard show up, where the Emperor's children have taken over, they have demons that they can materialize.
Right.
But not like within
the
Sanctum
palace.
Imperialis.
Yeah. So yeah, we know he's working, and I appreciate that they exist so that the reader doesn't forget that the Emperor is working. But I'm getting a little worried for the coming Horus situation. The Emperor doesn't look super great.
Yep.
I like those, and I like any storyline that has Malkador in it, really.
Yes, Malkador really is a great character, who I feel like just enough is known about him.
And just enough is not known about him to keep you interested, I think.
So I've read some short stories that detail a little bit more than what you probably know about. Not enough that it would really change anything.
Like I don't want it ruined. I like the Malkador mystery.
He's not as old as the Emperor, but he's
real old.
Way older than any human or space marine is. Yeah. He's a great character.
Yeah.
And actually, he might have once been in a position similar to Basilio Foe. So Basilio Foe is probably my favorite storyline from this novel.
It's good.
I knew him from another short story that Dan Abnett wrote, which is not a flashback, but back during the Great Crusade, Horus tracked down Basilio Foe. For those who don't know, Basilio Foe was a former Terran warlord who escaped during the War of Unification. And
is like a crazy mad scientist.
That's why he's super high on the mad scientist scale.
It's great. It's great though. He seems awesome.
You know, like he probably, I want to say he's either on par or better than like Fabius Bile. Fabius Bile also has like Space Marine augments, which does help.
Yeah, I think I like Basilio Foe better than Fabius Bile, and I love Fabius Bile.
Right.
We don't get a lot of Basilio Foe in this book or the next book. I mean, you see him, but you don't get a lot of his back character if you've never read anything about him before.
Right.
But like the bits that I get are great.
Yeah. I'll have to give you that short story because it has his creations.
Okay.
They are of a level of horror I have not seen in any other 40K story.
Okay. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
He seems like he's a cool dude.
Yeah. So Amon, the Custode Amon, brings him because they're trying to design this
a weapon
bioweapon
that they think will kill Primarchs.
Right.
Yeah. Specifically Horus, but general Primarchs probably.
Now at the same time, Carl Sinderman is going to the Blackstone Fortress, which is where they have all of these various prisoners being held.
They've got Basilio Foe, they've got
Euphrates Keeler.
Yeah.
And they are trying to track down, along with Andromeda 17 and Captain Mauer.
Who is like... So... Dorn sends her on this mission. Like, she has been handling sort of weird occurrences that have been happening across the Imperium.
She's sort of like a 30K equivalent to a commissar.
Yeah, something like that. And so she's been reporting that, like, people are going crazy and murdering their families, and like captains on the field are like losing it and murdering all of their soldiers, and like there is this general sort of miasma of despair that is the sort of the front of chaos. And so she's giving him these reports, and she's like, we have to do something about this. And the something that they decide to do, this group of characters, including Andromeda 17, who I like a lot, is get Euphrates Keeler out of prison and let her... They can't give her official permission to start the Imperial cult because they don't support that, but they need the positive influence that is the Imperial cult, right? Like there is some counter chaos power, and they need her to like release that.
Right. So,
but with plausible deniability for Rogel Dorn.
So Malkador and Dorn are, well, more Malkador than Dorn. Dorn kind of like accepts that there's a thing that he can't feel.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what this is, but clearly it has an effect, so I guess fine. Yeah. As
this
long as
idea
you don't mess
that
up my plans.
This idea that religion can work as a real counter, like faith can work as a real counter to chaos.
Yeah.
And so you have these two opposing chaos forces going on at the moment, or not really opposing, but collaborating forces, where you have the forces, you have Nurgle, powered by Mortarion and the Death Guard, creating this miasma among humans, where they are being fed their own despair back to them, and it's just causing mass suicides.
Yeah, and like murder suicides, like people are killing their whole families so that they don't have to experience the sadness and then killing themselves. And like Mauer has been out like discovering those scenes, and it's really hard on her. And I think the opening is one of those scenes, and it's very good.
Right, and again, all of the sort of esoteric, creepy side of it,
it's very good.
is great with describing that.
Yeah.
Where I feel it kind of flounders a little bit is on the other side, you have Slaanesh, who is acting as a pull on humans. So while Nurgle is pushing people out of the Siege of Terra, Slaanesh and the Emperor's Children, who after the last book, Saturnine, most of the Emperor's Children just left the siege to do whatever.
Which, whatever for the Emperor's Children is never good.
No. They took over a hive in a different location on Terra, and...
Antaka?
Yes, yeah.
Close. It's got a K and a Y in it. I don't know.
And converted it into their own drug factory, essentially. Drug factory / garden. Yeah,
but the drug is the
drug is people.
Yeah.
But it's like people's hopes and dreams.
So like green as people.
Yeah. That they can turn into drugs for themselves.
Yeah, like people
ingest.
go there thinking there's this paradise in the middle of what used to be an ocean, like
which
they
call paradise.
Yeah, and so they're gonna go there so that like we see it through All and John Grammatic, right? Like they're on their journey, and people are walking there in droves to go be a part of this paradise where they think everything's great, and the woman you love is there, and your family who died 1 million years ago are all happy, and it's gonna be great. But then you go there and like trees grow around you and release fungal spores of pleasure for Emperor's Children. It's not great. It's only great in their minds.
It's sort of like you are the fruit on the trees, but rather than you growing from the trees, they stab you and make you a part of the tree.
It's not great for the people who go there.
No.
And like All's crew almost gets trapped there, but they escape.
Right. And as much as I don't care for Graham McNeil, I do think when it comes to visceral descriptions, he does do the Emperor's Children justice, even though I don't like his actual plot lines. And I feel like that was what was needed here. Like, it's creepy, but it's a little...
soft. It was a little soft. Yeah. Like, it pulled some punches. It could have been... It definitely could have hit the reader harder.
Right, yeah.
But it still was good, because I like to catch up with the Emperor's Children whenever I can.
I did like... what was the human companion's name? The one who dreamed that he saw his wife?
Oh, he's like... It's not Grek, that's his robot.
Right.
Crank? I'm making it up.
I don't recall.
But
his
he
name.
does. He has a companion. One of his companions who's with him sees this girl that he left when he joined the Imperial Guard, and he wants to bring all his friends to meet her because he loves her and they were going to be married.
Right.
And then he ends up part of a tree and they have to save him.
No. So there's the statue that he thinks is his wife and ends up being a Slaneshi demon.
Oh, I thought someone ended up in a tree and that might have been John, actually.
That was John.
Yeah. There's a statue that comes to life and tries to murder everyone. There's a lot happens in Paradise.
Yeah.
But also maybe it was too long for me. I think it's because I don't like the perpetual storyline that's going on. I know it eventually is going to have a point, maybe. But, I'm over it. I could have skipped all of that. Just get where you're going and then tell me, flashback me how you got there.
Was it in this one where John picks up on, what's it called? The language of creation?
Oh, yeah.
I did appreciate that.
I like that, yeah.
Now that is... What the heck was it called?
I don't remember, but it's it's a language that the Emperor speaks and Erda can speak.
So it actually comes up in the Eisenhorn series a couple times.
And it's bad. If you use it, bad things happen. And the use of that magic is hard on you. You can die doing it.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And I do like John Grammaticus as a character. For some reason, I just don't like Oleanus Pius. He might just be too good. I don't know. He just might be too good for me.
He's one of those characters that, because of the name recognition, I feel like the authors were a little kind of hands-off with him.
Okay.
He is very meek, and maybe that's sort of the point of him.
Yeah.
Because Ebony doesn't know what Oleanus Pius is famous for. I do.
I thought he was famous for that thing with the flag, with the representing the Emperor.
No, that's a different character.
Oh, they have similar names.
I know. That is the point. No, that is...
Okay. I thought they were the same person.
Storyline from Terra. History will remember them as the same person. And that is the problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
It's fine. What else? I guess the end of this book is the Titan battle, right? We're gonna...
Yeah, so... As the storyline goes, you have this continuous countdown in distance of the Titans from the wall.
I actually think that's very well done. That's one of the things I like about this book.
Yeah, I did appreciate that. That they are sort of this unstoppable force.
Yeah, and that number's just getting smaller as you go down. I appreciate that.
There was the fact that Legio Mortis, who are coming from Beta Garmon, took a whole bunch of loyalist Titans with them and animated them as zombie Titans.
That was okay.
That was pretty cool. I've never seen that before.
Titan fights, that was great.
That was great.
The two lines finally get together, and we think we're doing okay, and that the loyalist Titans have taken out some chaos Titans, and they move past them, right? So the walls have passed each other, and then all of those Titans that they think are dead get reanimated with chaos, and they're now zombie Titans. That was super cool. But I think for me, I can't. Maybe it's my little human brain. The scale of a Titan battle should be more impactful, and it just isn't.
In this book,
okay,
it's not as much.
Okay.
And I think in Titan Death you would have enjoyed it a lot more.
But yeah, the zombie Titans were super cool, and that did a lot of damage on the loyalist end, at least. Yeah.
Right. You have the Ordo Sinister, the secret 25 Psi Titans that the Emperor keeps hidden on Terra.
Yeah, because Chaos has psychic Chaos Titans that are shooting vortexes.
Well, no, so vortex missiles are a rare but standard weapon among Titans.
Okay.
That is a thing that
I feel
had.
that it's written though that it's we agreed we don't do this anymore though.
There's a lot of weapons that fall into that category.
Okay.
Though. A ton. Ferrus Manus had collections of them. Okay. Mortarion had collections of them. Mm-hmm. There were the Lion and the Dark Angels have the Dreadwing, who were all about that. Okay. So there's always crazy weapons of descriptions of science that are beyond anything that you can understand.
Yeah, and so we do get this Super Psyker Legion of Titans, which I thought would have been more impressive.
I know.
Well, I thought it would have been more.
So John French wrote another short story all about the Ordo Sinister and the Psi Titans.
Okay.
And I thought it was really great.
Okay. Yeah, it felt very like, and like you need to show that another unit is big and powerful. You take a big and powerful unit and then just let the other one smash it.
It's the Worf effect.
Yeah, you just let them smash it, and that's how it felt. But on the reader's end, it felt like we got all this build up because all of the other Titans were like, holy crap, the Psi Titans are right. Like they made it a big thing because they were all like, I've heard about this, but I've never seen one. And like people were like, it's a myth, and they were like, no, it's not a myth, it's a big thing. And they came out and then died immediately. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that sucked. Yeah. I wanted more of that actually.
And there are parts of the end battle that I am okay with.
Okay.
When the Dies Irae finally shows up.
Yeah.
And it is a very famous Emperor-class Titan
big
that is super chaos corrupted, and at this point has shown up in like 12 different stories.
Man, that Titan gets around.
Yes.
Just
like
they're moving it everywhere.
It really does.
I mean.
But past the Dies Irae, when the War Master Titans come up, which is the other new model unit.
I didn't think it was new. I just thought it was a thing I didn't know, and I was super geeked out about it. I was like, oh, there are Horus Titans, but then it was the end.
It is a brand new unit that when I first saw them come up, I was like, are you kidding me? There's like, we couldn't have shown these off in another way.
I thought it was impressive, though.
They are very much the Siegebreaker Titans.
Yeah.
They're huge and powerful. But
they're getting through that wall.
Yes. In the end, Legio Mortis does break through the wall, murders everyone, essentially. Yep. And I understand that this book was designed to be this transition from the outer wall fights to this, like, to the inner sanctum of the Imperium. That you've basically, that loyalists have lost something like 80 to 90% of the Imperial Palace at this point, and are just compacted down to as small an area as possible.
Which is nuts. Yeah. Like, I mean, small relative, but
small. you're still looking at an area probably the size of like Rhode Island.
It's like it's impressive. And I didn't hate this book. It had like little kernels that I liked. Like, I love Basilio Foe. I love the Shiban Khan story. I love the end of the Shiban Khan story. I love that Katsuhiro is a thing. Like, he's just going to be a thing for the rest of the Siege of Terra.
Katsuhiro's story in this, I thought was a good return to form from the first book that we got him, which was Lost in the Dam. Yeah. Like, I'm glad where his storyline has been developed.
I'm glad he's still alive, really.
Oh, I knew he wasn't going to be dying.
Yeah, that's probably a standout scene for me in the book when like Shivan is coming back with the baby and Baron has died, like with Katsuhiro's unit holding this wall, and like died really bloodily. Like Katsuhiro is watching Baron get ripped apart by like Mortarion's Death Guard and it's just the most aggressive, visceral chaos, physical fighting, and like Baron dies and he's like, you're in charge now, and Katsuhiro's like, what? I'm in charge now. And he's like, I guess I'm in charge now. And he's like, you and you, we are staying in this place because Lord Baron wants us to. And they start the Emperor Protects chant. I think that's really powerful, and it's nice that that's where Shiban ends up, because he's been on this journey to like, keep moving forward and get back to the defense. And he's brought back this soldier who saved a baby on the field, and sadly that soldier is dead, but like they saved the baby, and he hands the baby to Katsuhiro, and they like cart him off to aggressive surgery, because really, how is he still alive?
Right.
I think that's really cool. I think those are standout moments. But yeah, I could have lived without all of Oleanus Pius, even though it has the Emperor's Children in it. Like, it's kind of get there.
So the part that I did enjoy is at the end, after they escape paradise, and they meet up with two other characters.
Acte.
Acte.
Litu? and her, or no?
Well, so Litu
is it Alfarius at the moment?
It's Alfarius.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Litu's Acta is like a weird witch doctor lady, and she's got a space marine with her, and that space marine says his name is Alfarius.
Right. I believe Acte is, and I can't believe I'm forgetting her name, Argyltal's companion, the saint of the word bearers.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember her name either.
Oh god,
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm blanking on her name.
But then why is that a good thing? Wouldn't that be bad?
Cyrene.
Why wouldn't that be bad?
She is now a perpetual.
Okay.
Because she was brought back to life by
Okay.
Erebus.
Okay.
She has an interest in, I can't remember if it was this book or Warhawk where it was detailed, like their interests.
It's probably Warhawk in
Okay.
this book. Yeah. I don't know that we should trust this lady.
No?
We'll see. I guess we'll see how it goes.
She's basically got the beliefs of a traditional radical inquisitor, which is that chaos is something that we should be trying to control.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know how we feel about that. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Otherwise, I didn't hate this book. It definitely wasn't. It wasn't my favorite so far.
It was a slog to get through. It easily could have been 50, 60 pages shorter.
It did take me a while to get through it.
As opposed to Saturnine, the one before it, which I thought was a perfect length, even though it was on the longer side.
Yeah. And it was sort of pleasurable to get through.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I liked it.
It's okay.
You're neutral about it.
Yep.
Agree to disagree. Well, we'll be back next time with Warhawk.
Right. We did finish reading Warhawk already, so we will try and make a video for that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But following that, we might be looking into a Warhammer crime book while we wait for the next Siege of Terra, or we might switch over to one of Ebony's new interests, who enjoyed the Death Guard.
I do like the
and
Death
we might
Guard.
look at Lords of Silence.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know next time.
Bye.
Bye.